may not be the best film in the world, but it's the most important subject in the world, bar none. I did 4 stories on the Mesozoic for National Geographic. That's the midlife of the planet, the age of dinosaurs. And right now we're going through a mass extinction event. There's been 5 of them in the history of the planet. We're going through a 6th one right now. My friends in paleontology say that when you look at the industrial era, like 100 years from now, we'll look at this period of time and we'll think World War II is a footnote compared to the loss of biodiversity. And we're doing something that's unprecedented in history. We're changing the geology of the planet and the chemistry of the oceans. And you think, well, so what? Maybe you're not a diver, but we're destroying plankton at the rate of, some people say, 1% a year. Plankton is not just the base of the food chain, it's responsible for 2 out of every 3 breaths that you take. Think about that. Take a deep breath and consider that the second one was generated by plankton, and we're destroying it at 1% a year. It's a huge problem. It's not just an ocean problem, it's a people problem. Everything in the world is now vulnerable because of the way that we're burning fossil fuels. So, one of the aims of this movie is to get people to see carbon dioxide. We have a special camera that you see in the film that allows you to see this hidden world. And so, my idea is to open people up to what we're losing, and so that they get sense, to create the awareness, and then more importantly, after the awareness, you create the action. I'm more interested in the action than the awareness.
What were some of the challenges in making the film?
Oh boy. Well, first of all, we're not done yet. It's a work in progress screening. They're numerous. Jesus. We're trying to photograph film the largest animal in the world to ever exist, the blue whale, and get it in scale with a human being. That was, it took a guy on our team that works with the Navy SEALs. He trains the team that took down bin Laden. He's an amazing freediver, world champion freediver, and we had him diving with the blue whale. It was spectacular stuff. Everything about this film was challenging. It wasn't easy, but that's not. Hopefully, that's not the takeaway that people get. They're just going to find it hopefully just fabulously fascinating.
What are you hoping that people will take away from viewing the film?
That we have to change the way we're doing business with the Earth really quickly, and that all the solutions are actually upgrades. We don't have to at my business, I generate 140% of my energy off the roof. I drive electric cars. I've been driving electric cars for 5 years. Nothing goes wrong with them. They're invulnerable. There's one moving part in the engine, the rotor. So they last forever, and they're cheap. They're absolutely cheap, especially when you consider the externalities. If the burning of fossil fuels is killing the planet, the sooner that we can get off of fossil fuels, the sooner we can start saving our place on the planet for not just us, but for future generations. Hopefully this film will create a lot better stewards than we have right now.
How did you decide on the name for the film?
Finding a name for the film is the hardest thing in the world to do. Well, there's been 5 major extinctions in the history. There's been 5 major extinctions in the history of the planet. We're going through a 6th one right now, and I thought the idea of just 6 was compelling. And there was 6 main principal members of OPS. OPS is the Oceanic Preservation Society, so it's a little bit of a double entendre. It's like our name. Our name, Oceanic Preservation Society, OPS, is also, like special ops. So you'll see in the film that there's a lot of covert, activity in the film. That's kind of what we do.
Do you know when a final cut will be ready?
Hopefully in the fall, we'll be out in theaters.
There's been talk for years about the overfishing in Greece and just in the Mediterranean in general. Do you have any thoughts on that, or what can be done to sort of help that situation?
Well, I talked to the EU about this. I gave a talk on overfishing. I said, well, we're doing something really stupid over there. We're subsidizing the extinction of fish. By giving, the fishermen, basically tax breaks and cheap gas. We're fertilizing that. We're just fueling not just the extinction of the fish, but the fishermen. So there has to be a pullback of where we say that enough is enough. There has to be limits, because the sea is no longer this inexhaustible resource. It's we've seen the edges of extinction, and we're facing it right now. So the sooner we realize that, the sooner not just the animals have a chance to survival, but humanity.